My mic was music. My bad. My bad. My bad. My mic was muted. Listen, it's just been one of them. Right now is one of them times for me. I've been going through a lot of bullshit, trying to get stuff situated. I'm not supposed to be on right now. This isn't one of my regular shows or anything I do. I just wanted to come on and talk some shit. And I got a platform, so I'm gonna do it. But I'm not alone. I got my buddy. He's on with me. Wants to talk a little bit too. So bring it to the stage, Kyle. Hey, what up, Kyle?
What's going on, man?
Chilling, man. Like I was just saying on here, nice and loud.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, bro. I've been kind of going through shit. Like I just having one of them weird times where it's like I feel like I just can't get shit right. I
Mm-hmm.
keep losing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's weird shit, man.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna work through it. Fuck it. How you doing, bro?
you got this. You know what? I've been doing okay.
Yeah.
I cannot lie. Had a good morning, despite what it looks like outside from
Yeah.
my.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy outside. Is it
Oh,
cold? Really cold over there?
yeah. Oh, yesterday was 11 degrees.
11. That shouldn't even be
11.
legal.
11.
11
All
degrees.
right. Let me tell
Damn.
you. No, let me tell you currently what it. Yo. You want to know what it is right now? You want to know what it is right now here in good old Connecticut?
It's gonna be 4.
Check. You close, bro. You
Damn,
close.
really?
You are close. It is 9 degrees.
Fucking 9 degrees. That's crazy, bro.
9 degrees below.
Is it like do you have like power outages or anything like that? Like is
Some do. Some have.
yeah,
Some have.
that's
I
gotta be
have not.
crazy, man.
Thankfully. But
I would just go outside. Like I
some
would just go outside and light a fire, bro. Just go outside and burn some shit down.
yo,
What's the point of sitting inside just freezing your ass off? You can't light no fires inside.
oh,
You can't
if
do
you,
nothing.
oh man, yo, I'm just look. Yesterday, I call one of my bros, right,
Yeah.
and he's a trucker, right?
Okay.
So he's a trucker. He said he was gonna be home at the end of the month, going into February, right?
Okay.
So I called just to check in on him. You know what I'm saying? And I said, "Hey man, where you at today?" He's like, "Man, I'm home." I'm like, "What you mean?" They told me get home. They told me
Mm,
stop. Like he had another load coming, right? And they were like, "You know what? No, cancel, go home."
yeah.
Right? You got a wife. He got a wife and kids too. Go home.
Oh
You
yeah.
know.
Yeah,
So
man.
so him and I get to talking. 30 minutes go by. He conferences in one of our other brothers, and they're like, "Hey, bro, we gonna kidnap you. You gonna hang over here?" I'm like, "Nah, man, I ain't going nowhere. I
Good. Yeah. Good call. Do
I
that
ain't
shit
going
right
nowhere."
now.
He's like, "Why not?" I'm like, "Bro, listen, it is 11 freaking degrees out right now."
Yeah,
And he's
man.
like, "What makes you think my place ain't gonna be, warm?" That's not the point. I'm warm right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the one.
That's right.
I wasn't going nowhere. And when your
Yeah.
family starts calling you to make sure you're okay, like my aunt called the night before to make sure because she was worried about the cold weather more than the snow.
Oh yeah,
You know?
yeah. Because the biggest thing is, man, like right now, I'm in Georgia, so you're in Connecticut. You're up north, so
Yes,
it's a
yes,
little colder. Right down
yes,
here, it's
yes.
not. It's actually not that cold. It's above freezing right now. It's still
Mm,
like around the mid 30s. But
yep.
the ice that we had the one night kind of starting to dry up or starting to go away or whatever. But
Mm.
tomorrow morning and overnight, it's supposed to go down to like 20. So yeah, they
I'd
already
still I'd
canceled all
still
the
trade places with you.
yeah. Oh yeah. Shit. You only got 5 degrees over there.
Come on,
Gonna set my
you
next
were.
door neighbor car on fire and heat my street.
I'd still
Just
trade.
blow it up, bro.
I'd still trade
Blow that shit
places.
up.
Oh
All right.
my god.
Listen, y'all. I'm glad we laughing now because
Oh yeah.
this is gonna be like more of a serious kind of show, talking shit or whatever, talking about stuff, whatever. Um, Kyle, like
Yeah.
as you know, you came on with me on the web show
Yes.
a couple weeks ago,
Mhm.
and we did the talk about like everything that's happening with ICE and agents and stuff like that. And we were kind of just talking about like that was right after the lady Renee, I think her name is.
Yeah, that was
Um,
just last week. That,
yeah,
that
when she got shot in Minneapolis and stuff.
ridiculous.
And yeah, bro, it's like it's just been a lot of craziness. And of course, if you are been online, like you should have saw like apparently there was another.
Other,
Um,
yeah, I saw the video.
you saw it, right?
Mhm. I
Listen,
saw the video.
that what you just said is a very very big thing. So let me repeat it. You saw the video, right?
Uh-huh.
There's
Yeah.
fucking like 7 videos. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So many people was recording this
Yep.
shit happen. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm making a big point to make sure I say that very clearly.
Mm-hmm.
There was multiple videos of this that occurred yesterday morning. No guessing, no altered, no, what's it? I'm talking about live on the fucking scene.
Yep.
Multiple videos.
Yep.
Multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just gotta say that shit real quick.
Yep. No, go ahead. Get it out. Get it
All
all
right,
out.
man.
Yep.
So like, yeah, we woke up and everybody's been like, wild about all of this shit or whatever. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was something that I was thinking everybody's talking about like the storm and people are buying out the thing. And I'm over here like, man, I ain't no damn storm. And that's all I've been like worried about. Ice all the fucking, you can't get away from the word and shit.
Yeah. You're right. Oh my God. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's like, when I saw the situation or whatever, at first I was just like, I was watching the one video that came out first that everybody saw, and it was of course somebody recording on a cell phone, and you saw the whole situation, man. You saw the whole situation unfold. It was pretty much like beginning to end, honestly. And then other people started adding more, so you really see like, wow, okay. And point blank, I just want to state it. If you have fucking eyeballs and they work.
Yeah.
It's no perception needed. It's no perspective needed. It's literally factual understanding.
Yep.
What happened was ... That's just what the fuck it is. There's but I think it was no. Fuck your opinions. Fuck every reasoning that you have in your motherfucking brain.
Reasoning.
It's factual motherfucking documentation. Gotta understand it, bro. Kyle, when I tell you I'm so sick and tired, I'm telling y'all, this is why I just jumped on this thing. I don't give a fuck if they block me. I already had my fucking post block on TikTok earlier. I don't give a fuck anymore. This is what I got. This is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna use my voice with shit like this, bro. I saw what I saw, okay, and it was very understandable. It wasn't anything that was hidden. You saw every piece of the fucking puzzle. They just murdered somebody, bro.
Yep.
Simple as there's no fucking justification. I gotta keep saying shit like this because you have to understand, man, we are living in a fucking world where everybody's opinion can just be a fact. The way you feel can just be a fact now. And that's bullshit. It's not even fucking understood that your opinion is your opinion. You can have it. You deserve to have it. It's your right to have it.
Yeah.
But everybody in the world does not have to adapt to it. That's just
Absolutely
fucking truth, bro. Feel me?
Yeah.
So it's just like after seeing that video and just seeing these motherfuckers again, not even a while after. Like we didn't get a month went
just
by.
a week late. Just a week later, do you see this happening again? Not and people try and people on one side of the fence saying look at the evidence, and the others trying to justify what
crazy.
Happened. A man lost their life trying to protect someone else. Okay.
I mean, a man lost his life even if he wasn't protecting anybody.
He lost his life.
But the guy lost his life. He didn't fucking do anything.
Nothing.
He didn't do. Yo, listen, I don't give a fuck what nobody says, bro. Kyle, you've been on with me for a minute now, bro. Yeah. We did that story about the girl who was on the train, the Russian girl who was on the train, that fucking random ass, random fucking, we got mental problem. I don't fucking care anymore, bro. I don't care about everybody's fucking problems, yo.
Yeah.
This is the thing. That girl, this is the fact. This is the fucking fact. That girl got off for work and she sat on the fucking train like she probably did every day she was working that job.
Mhm.
She sat down and some fucking asshole, I don't care, you gotta understand. I don't have to understand anything. This is the fact. She sat down and got attacked for no reason. For
Nope.
no fucking reason. That is the fact. There's no argument to be had.
Yep.
Maybe she should have been paying attention. No, you stupid motherfuckers, bro. I'm so sick and tired of everybody having to come down to everybody's fucking stupidity, yo. Just like you just said, Kyle, you just said it on the head. You nailed it. We are living with fucking imbeciles who like, we have no reason to be this fucking stupid. We have no reason. We have visual fucking evidence, recorded evidence, fucking the greatest piece of documentation that you could possibly have. In a fucking short span of time. So it's not even like, oh, it could be corroborated, it could be this, it could be manipulated. No, it's a fucking upload to the fucking planet. Everybody sees it, everybody has it, and we're still arguing, and we're still discussing, and we still are talking. Well, we shouldn't. What the now, yo? What the fuck is going on?
Well, it's exactly what you said. You know what I mean? Like personally, I think of like when we were kids and say like even before we were kids, but even when stuff like this would have happened, cops would end up killing somebody or overdoing it, and the next thing you know, they'd bring them to court, and a good chunk of the time they'd still get off because they're cops.
Yeah,
I think
bullshit.
I think of I think of the Rodney King beating.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking of too when this happened.
I was thinking of the Rodney King beating. We were too young to really understand what was going on at the time. All we knew was a dude got beaten. You saw a group of cops, and then later on, when I got a little older and learned about the case, the group of cops got off. Right? Oh. They saw the tape. Nobody, like a lot of us were not shocked. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But they saw the tape and they still got off. Video evidence, they still got off. We can watch that tape right now on the internet and you would still see what happened. And those cops got away scot-free. Yep. Now people out here talking about ICE. And here's one thing I didn't know about ICE. ICE has only been around since 2003. Right?
I didn't even know they were around that long.
I didn't even know. I didn't even know either. Because this is the most I've ever heard of. Ice outside of my freezer. You feel me? So
for real.
That's it. Aside, the most I've ever heard of ICE is every time like a rapper shows up with a name, and that's it.
Yeah.
I just saw an AI an AI render of Ice-T, Ice Cube, Vanilla Ice, and Ice Spice as Ice agents, and
yeah,
I'm like, you know what? There's some humor in there. I'll give them that, but dang the timing on that,
For real, man.
Yeah, and this is supposed to be about immigration.
Yeah.
Right. It's supposed to be about immigration. They're out here detaining young kids, little kids, and their parents, no matter what they look like. This is why my parents were like, "Oh, be careful. Your last name is Barbosa."
Everybody. We told our kids everything.
Like
everybody. However you look, unfortunately, it's of course if it's people of color, if it's people with an accent, if it's anything like that, if you have any kind of ethnicity that is visual, yeah, you can forget about it, bro. You have the right. Apparently, you have the right to just be targeted, and this is why I wanted to come on and say, because this was the video part of what I was saying in the video that I was getting that I got blocked with. I didn't get blocked on Facebook, but it did get blocked on TikTok.
But he got blocked on TikTok.
And it's crazy because I've never had a video get blocked before on TikTok.
Well, you know what? I'd say use that as an honor, because I say use that as a badge of honor, because a lot of people that are either they mention one thing that's happening outside, have the facts, or they just get too angry and the algorithm is like, oh no, this isn't nice, this isn't right, you're against community guidelines. and they
Fucking
won't
crazy.
exactly tell you why. They won't tell you
Yeah.
why. There's no
They don't-
transparency with these machines. You know what I'm saying?
And that's one of the things. Like, so I put out a video. If you saw my Facebook, like, where I was basically just saying, because of the events and everything that's been happening and stuff like that, and what we're talking about with ICE and, you know, all this other stuff or whatever, this is not the time to be trying to run the fuck around, yo. And I know that sucks to say, because the first thing when you tell a lot of people, hey, don't do that, what the fuck do people want to go do? They want to go do it immediately. Oh, fuck that, man. I ain't staying home. I ain't doing this. I deserve to be. There's people, I remember there's been conversations where it's like, you tell people like, hey, man, make sure you lock your doors, man. You know, pay attention, lock your doors, make sure you lock up, you know, keep your stuff safe. I shouldn't have to lock my doors. No, I fucking hate that statement, bro. It's like, it's such a fucking throwaway statement. Like, I shouldn't have to do that. Listen. You are absolutely right. Like,
you're right.
Yeah,
100%. You're right. 100%. You shouldn't have to.
Yeah, nobody should have to do anything, bro. You shouldn't have to go through any of this bullshit. That's not. But that's not the point. That's more of that opinion shit. Like, that's more of that shit of like, oh, I don't want to lock my doors. Okay, you don't want to lock your doors. That's cool. But then if something happens, reasonably, you can get mad, but you can't get mad to the degree of like confusion. Like, you should just be able to get mad. Oh man, I hate that this happened to me, even though I set myself up for it. You know, I hate that somebody robbed me because I didn't lock my doors. Like, you chose that route. So back to what I was saying. Like, I'm saying right now, and who the fuck am I, right? I'm saying right now that this is not the time to be going out and trying to have the time of your motherfucking life. I don't think so. I think that right now in this country, we are going through a drastic change. We are going through a drastic change. I don't know exactly what the agenda is. I don't know exactly, you know, what is really about to happen, because this is most certainly the very, very, very top of what the fuck is about to be uncovered and whatever is going on. Like, this isn't even, I don't even think this is the beginning, really. I think this is the you know, the air, you know, that's blowing up the fucking balloon that's about to be, you know, giant. Right now is not the time to be planning vacations and shit. Right now is not the time to think that I read a book. I'm a lawyer. The Constitution, the Bill of Rights, our forefathers. This shit is not the time for those conversations anymore. And I think that's a really big thing that is really, really, really going to have people not understand. How the fuck am I saying this right now? That's a big thing that people are not going to understand at all. Like, I think people have a very hard time with understanding that just because something is a rule or a law or something that should be upheld by everybody in the community, by everybody in the country, by everybody in the world, it doesn't always happen that way.
No.
You always, just like same thing with the locking the door. You always have to understand, just because a motherfucker is supposed to do what was agreed about getting done. Sometimes people cancel. Sometimes people say yes just so they can say no later. Sometimes people have malicious intent. Whatever the fuck you want to say, bro.
When we were kids, we would cross our fingers.
Yeah. Remember that?
Cross your fingers in the back. Like, oh yeah, I hear you.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
all my fingers were crossed.
Scouts honor and shit. You was fucking Scouts.
No.
Bro, you feel me?
Yeah, it's real. I'm like, okay, like when I see people defending what's going on outside, I'm like, okay, you have the right. Bro. Number one, you have the right to feel however you want to feel. But, and I'm not wishing this on anybody.
Yeah.
But you know that old cliche, you won't know until you're in someone else's shoes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and you know, that's usually how it is, and sometimes that doesn't even work.
You don't know unless you're in somebody else. You're in somebody else's shoes. I don't know what it's like to be detained falsely. I do know what it's like to be called out my name. I do know what it's like
Yeah.
to be called the N-word by a random white dude who don't know me. I do know what it's like to be called by I do know what it's like to be called crippled or useless from people that say they're helping me. I do know what that feels like. I do know what it feels like to feel helpless in a world that is supposed to be for in a country that is supposed to be for everyone. I do know what that feels like. What this feels like to me is every other movie and documentary I've ever seen come to life in some way, shape, or form. But the guys that are on the camera right now, the ICE agents, they're just incompetent dudes that think this is Call of Duty. There's a and I say this because there's a video out there where somebody had their mic on while they're in the middle of a protest, right? And the guy was like, he was loading his gun. He was like, "Yo, this is like Call of Duty, man. It's fun, right? This is not AI. I wish it was.
Yeah.
This was real. This was somebody just living out his Call of Duty fantasy. Probably because he got kicked out of one too many lobbies on freaking PS5. I don't know. But
I mean, but you don't. There's not a lot from my understanding, and I don't have a giant understanding, and I'm not trying to teach people anything right now. Yeah. Honestly, I'm kind of venting.
You're just pissed off, and you're just venting. That's all.
And you know something, Kyle? It's not like I'm just like I'm standing for my country. Blah, blah, blah. It's more the fact that it's just there's, like you said, there's so many people that are openly arguing about what the fuck happened yesterday. About what happened even with the Renee with the Renee thing, even though there's video.
Yep.
And I'm just being reasonable here. Like, because she was in a car, because there was at least something else. It's like, oh, I was afraid for my life. If you clearly watch the video, you can see that there's no way you were afraid for your life.
Bro. You weren't afraid for your life.
You were just fucking trigger happy. There's no doubt about it. You were just trigger happy. This one that just came out, you see everything.
Yeah.
You see the guy on the ground with 7, 8, 9, 10 people on him. You see the guy, you see clearly in the multiple videos, they pulled the gun that he had that was I got to say this part. Even if it wasn't a registered or concealed carry, even if this motherfucker who got attacked was holding a gun illegally on him, here's the facts, bro. They got it off of him.
Yep.
Before they started to shoot him. It wasn't on him. You see the fucking video of the guy pull it out of his back and then walk off, and then they killed him. And when I say kill, I'm saying they all shot this man.
I know. But just now what I saw was about 10 times they hit him, and I'm like, he's already gone. He's dead. He's done. Okay, it's done. You don't have to do it's bad enough you did it in the first place. And people are gonna try and freaking twist the narrative, like they did with the woman last week. When she got shot, almost immediately there were videos like, oh, but she was part of this group, and her and her wife, and yada yada yada.
Wait to add to the fucking story.
You can't wait. The point is she did nothing and she's gone. He did nothing. He did nothing. He's gone. These ICE agents, somebody made a GoFundMe for one of the ICE agents. Right?
I know.
And I'm like, hold on. So this is what, but then again, it doesn't surprise me. I've seen, and these are, and this ain't even like a white versus black thing, which is why people are like, oh, but if this was a black woman or this was a white woman, you know what I'm saying?
That's the other points that we're about to touch on right now, like that, just shit like that. But that's the whole thing, man. The whole thing about people are literally like having a side. It's like you're not supposed to always have a argument about everything.
No.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. If you walk up and you see somebody slap a baby and bang, right in front of everybody who's standing there should be no fucking argument. There shouldn't be a side. It should just be this happened. Wow, that was wrong.
That baby spit on him. He doesn't. That baby's secretly working for the other side. He's part of the far right. He's part of the far left. He's doesn't go to church. I don't know.
Bro,
Right.
we're so fucking divided. We're so divided that's the biggest part of all of this. We're so divided. We're so fucking divided that right now, in this clear, understandable world that we are in together, that you can fucking forget about it. We are at the means and the mercy of anybody's power, of anybody's fucking family group herd mentality. Anybody who is able to come together, whether it be ICE, whether it be army, whether it be whatever, there's barely any community. There's barely any. Even the motherfuckers who are, and I've been saying this shit for so long about the whole red and blue, and here's the best part. You voted for this. I want everybody who voted. This is the argument. This is the discussion. Not what we're talking about right now. The discussion that's being had when you look in the comments and you look, under people who are talking about it. This is the place where we get the information. We see the active community talking.
Yeah.
You see people. This is just, you got trolls. Yeah, you got certain things, but you see people. I hope whoever voted for this is what they want. This is what this comes to. The conversation isn't, wow, this innocent person was just killed. What the fuck is happening? What are we going to do to stop this? This is people. And then people go to the only thing they know, because this has been glorified at this point. It's almost useless. It's almost useless. And by that I mean protesting. People protest for fucking everything,
which they have a right to.
You listen, you do have a right to, but at the same time, if you abuse that right, whenever you do it, if you do it because they don't have chicken nuggets at fucking 10 a.m. at McDonald's, if you do it because they don't have your shoe size at fucking at Foot Locker or whatever, if you do it because in the stores they took out the tofu brand that you like, if you do it because your kid, he had to sit in the back of the class instead of the front, but then you get to the point where, damn, somebody just got shot. Oh, you motherfuckers you feel me? But when it's done, in a way where you understand this is, hey, listen, you're pressing back on the community. Hey, listen, you're pressing back against the people. We are the ones who are paying the taxes. We are the ones who are voting for you to be here. We are the ones that are in power, that are putting you in a position to help us run the most efficiently possible. But that shit ain't happening no more.
No, I don't think it ever was.
I don't know if it ever was either.
I don't think it ever was. And here's the thing. I think about, I talk about this with my friends all the time. A lot of them, some of them understand more than I do. I am very much a novice when it comes, when it comes to this, when it comes to politics and this thought process and whatever.
Yeah.
But all I know is, and I've said this on this podcast before, I don't give a crap what side you're on.
Yeah,
okay?
me neither.
I don't give a crap what side you're on. My whole thing is, okay, so what we gonna do? They're telling you straight up what they want to do now. They're telling you straight up online what they want to do, and it's being kind of like there's still some sort of weird discourse. Oh, well, this might work because this, or this might work because that. My thing is, like, we got politicians, we got board members, Congress members, and all this stuff. They're the ones voting on these bills. We're not. We're voting for the people who make the bills and vote on the bills in the first place. But you look at these freaking bills, and they're a whole book's worth. Some of them are novels.
Oh yeah,
for one or two
intentfully,
things
I'm
that
pretty
they
sure.
focus on. Yeah. Like my thing is like, if you're, why is it that you need like 50 pages to focus on one thing? And then you look at the 50 pages, because you can look it up online, and they sneak stuff in there. They put other things in there that have nothing to do with what the news is saying the bill is supposed to be for, right? So it makes me go, why? What's the point? Oh, wait, y'all on both sides got other agendas, but you're pushing just one, you know?
Yeah. And it's easier now for the agendas and for the sides, because people have pretty much, they've conformed so much to their side that you forget, even if you disagree with your side, you still are on your side. So you're more willing. There's these guys on social media. They're pretty popular. They're twins and they're black, I think, or mixed or something. But they're the Hodge twins or whatever. And I'm saying it, I don't give a fuck.
I think I know
the Hodge twins, and they're very, very like loud about being like on the right or whatever. They're very proud Republicans.
Yeah, I've seen.
And almost everything that they do, I don't know if it's like part of their shtick, but I'm pretty sure it's kind of like their side. Like it's what they believe. Now, I say this, like I said, every fucking thing, like you said before, Kyle, I'm not on any fucking side. No. If I hear something over here and it makes sense, hey, listen, I fucking understand. I feel you. I feel the same way. But then I hear something over here and it makes sense. Oh, shit, I feel the same way too. That's one of the reasons why I don't like, and I've said this 1,000 times. I don't vote. I don't vote, bro. Listen, I say it proudly.
Yeah.
I say it proudly. Let me tell you why. If you give a fuck, if you don't give a fuck. I don't vote because I don't believe in this system that everybody thinks they have so well fucking figured out. Everybody right now is having the time of their fucking life, thinking they know what is going on. You know why? Because this is everybody. Donald Trump, it's you. Fingers fucking pointing even before this nigga was back in office. Why? Oh, here's why. He's the fucking person you see. That's it. Think about it. Fuck your fucking reasonings and your feelings. Think about it. The only fucking reason you feel like it's him, besides him being up there and talking shit, anybody could talk shit. He's the only one that you see. Now, you got the vice president, you got other people behind him, you got all this other shit. It's the same thing as in any fucking company. I've said this shit 1 billion times, yo. It's the same thing as any company. You see the manager when you have a problem. You don't see the owner. You don't see the district manager usually. You don't see the other motherfuckers who, or who own the land at the building. You don't see what's happening in the background. You just see the representative. The representative is the president. The president, he's a representative for the country. Does he have power? Of course he has power. But is he the most powerful? That's the fucking question.
No, but he does abuse the power he has. And that's
but Kyle, think about it, bro. I'm telling you, listen, bro. Listen. This is the shit. And I'm not trying to fucking, bring anybody's mind state or anything like this or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, the only reason I'm even bringing it up is because I really do believe that this is like another giant part of the problem. This is another reason why everybody thinks they understand and why they pick sides and why they stick to their sides, because people kind of think that they have it figured out. Well, if we would have voted for Kamala, this wouldn't have happened. If we would have did this. Listen, how the fuck do you know what's going on? In my eyes, this shit has been getting structured all the fucking way to where we are right now. It almost makes, I've said this before when we were talking about the ICE situation, it almost makes perfect sense with how the design is being placed with the whole ICE thing, with everything that's happening. if you are able to kind of story write and see what everything looks like it's heading towards. And this
Yeah.
is a lot of things that fucking active or retired veterans are saying. It's a
Yep.
lot of things that people are who have seen this kind of history play out in different parts of the world are saying. Like there's things that are happening that it seems like it's more by design than
Mhm.
just some random old motherfucker who is starting to be incoherent to what the fuck is even going on. Because what is a better way to get some crazy shit started than to have some senile lunatic, I don't give a fuck motherfucker, the person you can point the finger at? It's the easiest fucking source.
And I
He's
think
a natural bad guy.
I think the biggest thing besides his ego, but I think the biggest thing is so they teach us very little about they teach us a little bit about what each branch of government does in school and what it's supposed to do, but at the same time we have really no idea. Like when you think of president, you
Yeah.
think you think power. Like the president has, especially the way you see some of them acting, they
Yeah.
act like they have all the power. So if something goes down during their presidency, they're going to get blamed for it. Look what happened to Biden. Look what happened to Obama. It was the same.
Mhm.
It was the same thing. Same thing with Bush. And even though even though my thing is like I'm only mentioning those guys because that was what we grew up with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? By the time I was 18 years old and able to vote, right? The biggest thing my parents wanted me to do was learn how important voting was.
Yeah.
But one thing I really wish we could have focused a little more on is what these branches of power actually do. Like, what is it about? Because you can't just be president and say we're going to go to war. You gotta, you gotta have checks and balances. But the way things are going, it seems like they're trying to get rid of the checks and balances, as if they just like, okay, look, his word, that's it. Their word, that's it. But everybody has to have a balance. Otherwise, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah. But
So
it
that's the thing.
go
We
ahead.
got to learn what each one of these things do. And for those who do know, who have studied, who have looked at history, and and do not want us to do it again, we have to learn exactly not who we're voting for, but what we're voting for. Like, what does this
Yeah.
mean? What does this mean for this, for this jurisdiction, for this county, for this country? If we go this way versus versus this way, because everybody's like, oh, I don't want it to be all liberal, I don't want it to be all conservative. Guess what? Your views changed at one point. For everyone that says, oh, black people used to vote, everybody used to vote Republican back in the day, everybody used to vote this back in the day, if you were a Democrat, then you would be considered crazy. Guess what? The ideals changed. Things change every few years, or something changes. So we have to keep that in mind too. And we can't be so gung ho to think that one person's opinion is going to change everything overnight. But I think because we live in a microwave society now, where everything is, where someone could go like viral overnight just by like one video, they think the same. They think the same thing with it. And tell me if I'm wrong, please, because like I said, I'm an amateur.
I think it's just easy. Like I said, bro, I think it's just easy for people to easily have something to explain away.
Yeah,
I think that comes with almost anything. And like you said, you made a good point. Like, more knowledge that you have, like the more knowledge, and if we're going to talk about like things we should have learned probably at a younger age, I mean, that's just like
there's so much
top of there's so much that
there's
so much that we should have learned as far as shit that was necessary to know, as far as growing up in this country. But at the same time, when you have the spokesperson for any source, any company, anything, when you have the spokesperson, one of the qualifications of a spokesperson is supposed to be articulation. You're supposed to be able to be articulate enough to speak, and for good, for good nature, like you should be able to speak to people in a way where people can get behind you, where people can, and all people, not just, unless you're just in one, realm, but all people. But if you're only speaking to specific people and you're in a person of power, especially in politics, then you've already fucked up. You've already fucked up. You're already in the United States, United States, literally the fucking category on the top of the damn name. And you're gonna be the person who says, no, we have to get these people, we have to do this thing. You've already fucked up. You've already basically secluded people. You've already basically put everybody in a place of lower to higher, and that's part of your fucking job, man.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm saying, that's why I'm saying, like, I don't think people understand that Trump, is he an asshole? Is he fucking shit up? Yeah, he's definitely fucking shit up because he's the person in there right now. It's just, it comes with his power. Even if we found out, oh, this motherfucker ain't nothing to do with this shit, like he's just a fucking hand up his back, which is starting to look more like you said, he's starting to look like Biden, to be honest with you. Like 80 years old.
Seriously, for all the crap he used to talk about Biden back when Biden was president, like, dude, you're not looking any better, homie.
Yeah, you're not old as shit.
You're not looking any better. You're not acting, and you're definitely not acting any better.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You're falling asleep just like he was.
Trump was think about it like this, bro. Trump was in a position of power all over the place for his whole life.
Yep.
You don't think that's a toll? This motherfucker been running around his whole life. He ain't never been able to sit down. He always had a business meeting. He always had something. Even when he did go on vacation, playing golf. This motherfucker been running around his whole. He's now like 80, and he's running the entire country. There's no way.
No.
Again. Yeah, right? Again.
But he's also trying to change it so he can run for a third freaking term. And every time I'm like, first off, who would want this job in the first place? I want to know who the heck would want this job in the first place. I never understood it. Forget trying to run one company. Okay. Forget trying to run. My mother got overwhelmed running a business for almost 30 years because she rented the building. She was, she had the business in. She had to get employees. She had to have a payroll. She had to have a business plan. All of that, right? All of that, and then she retired. Basically in the middle of 2019. Shut the building down after about almost. Like getting close to over 30 years in business, right? Yeah. She started in the basement of our house. People knocking on the door to get their hair done. She moves to the west side, the west end of where I live, in this small little place. Stays there for a good decade plus. Gets a little, has a business plan, buys a bigger place, but with more space also came more issues. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So
more issues, more
overhead, dealing with people. There was people out here not liking the fact that she moved to a bigger space instead of a smaller spot. You know what I'm saying? So she had to deal with people's egos. Sometimes she couldn't pay herself. She hired me when she needed help, and I didn't have a job. Sometimes she couldn't pay herself, so I'd get paid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just one company. Now imagine if she became president.
Yeah.
Right? Now that's everybody, the whole country, whether they like you or not. You and a bunch of other people that you put in power are trying to govern a country that a lot of people don't even like anymore. We barely have any allies out here anymore.
Yeah, but that's once again, bro. I'm telling you, like, it's a bunch.
but you believe it's part of a bigger plan.
I think that I at this point, bro, it's like it's hard to believe that anybody can still think that every 4 years, like just think.
Oh, it took more time than that for us to get to where we are. You know,
every 4 years that this person can just change, and like you just said, you know what is similar to also like a TV show.
Yeah,
especially one that's been on for like 5, 6, 7, 8 seasons.
Yep.
Producers come in all the time. They come in all the time and they bring in their different ideas.
Yep.
And they do their version of an episode. Oh, this episode was written by blah blah blah.
Yep.
And then bam, you won't change the show. You ain't gonna change like the show or whatever, but you're gonna bring something to the table that you're able to do.
That you're able to do. It's
the same shit. But at the same time,
dynamic, hopefully. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And at the same time, but there's always the show. The show is always going on. The background and everything else and the natural tone, the general tone of everything that's going down.
Yeah.
That doesn't change. Just the person that is the representative for that time period changes. And like I said before, they should be articulate. They should be somebody that people can look up to. You should be. I mean, anybody, even a manager at a job. Would you go to a job and want a manager that's just an asshole and that's just like, go over there and go do that, just bossy? And
you won't know that until you get the job.
You won't know that until you get the job. It's like you won't know the president until you get the president. So it's like, it just makes more sense to me. I'm saying all of this extra shit to basically say, like you just said, like, I just don't understand how there's not more conversation about what the fuck is the president really? And what do people think is going to happen if Donald Trump is not in the presidency anymore? Do people think that all of this stuff is going to stop?
No.
Like, do people think that all of this stuff that's been building for all of these years at this point, all these detention centers and all of this shit that is happening, do you think that this stopped when Biden was there? Do you think this stopped when Obama was there? Do you think that none of this was going on? I've been hearing about this shit since before all of, and I know there's a lot of other fucking people who are like me, who have been listening to shit, whether you want to call it underground, whether you want to call it this, whether you want to call it this. I know a lot of people have been listening to this shit, who's watching this shit play out right now. Like, damn, these motherfuckers was right. I can't tell you how long I've been listening to this shit, yo.
Yeah, because I think I also, you have historians who have been studying the ins and outs of the presidency and what society changed, what society is like for decades. They study people. These people are studying patterns. Yep. They're not just studying years and dates. They're studying patterns, how the president's moving, how the people behind him are moving, how how businesses at the time are moving, how the freaking economy is moving, all of that. And now here we are repeating history again. And I personally, no matter what I feel about the president, I know it's not just one person that controls everything.
There's no way. Yeah,
it cannot be. There's no way it ever is, because you are running a country that the world used to look at as an ally. We are. It's not just a company. It's not just one place. You're not just running yourself. Thank goodness thank goodness, I'm a freelancer, so I work for myself. I ain't got nobody else to worry about but me. You know what I'm saying? But man, I would not want the president's job. What I do wish is there was a bit more transparency. Just like you were saying with your bosses. I want the same thing with your if you're trying to rent from somebody. You know how when you're renting a building or renting an apartment, they check everything from your credit score to your income, to
everything,
all of that past history and stuff like that. I wish you could do the same thing for your landlord. Oh, okay, yeah, you're gonna check my credit history, my employment history. Yeah. Okay, let me check yours. How reliable are you? Can I trust that you'll be able to fix a problem if I need it done at a certain point in time? Yes, I'm renting from you, but you want me you want me to be you want me to be a trustworthy, a trustworthy tenant, correct? What if you're not a trustworthy a trustworthy renter? You know
Yeah,
what
and
I'm saying?
I think that's where a lot of stuff happens. Where, it's like that whole bartering method. Like,
Yeah.
how bad do you need this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how bad do you like if you're a person who needs, assistance or help or food or whatever the fuck it is,
Yep.
you need that, and I
Hmm.
have it. At that point, that's where the power dynamic is.
Yeah.
You need something, and I have it. So
Hmm.
what are you going to do to get it? And like you said, I also need you to, get this apartment because I need to get money. So it's like there's a part of me, like, if you give me a request, I have to factor in a lot of things, like, well, how many
Yep.
requests for this apartment do I have? Do I have to go through this? Do I have to? Oh, this guy's asking me for my information, and I got fucking 17 other people over here. I ain't get the fuck out of here. I don't got to give you my information. Bam, now you're gone. But if there's nobody, and I know that I need my rent money from my apartment,
Yep.
and it's based off of you getting this one,
Hmm.
now the tables are turned. So it's all about the power dynamic that
Yep.
is had. And if it's in your favor, that's why it's good that you said it, like, because literally it can be in your favor. I think a lot of times people are scared. Oh
Yep.
man, I'm not going to get this job if I ask that. I'm not going to
Yep.
get this apartment if I ask that. That's kind
Yep.
of like what we're dealing with now.
Yep.
Oh, am I even I'm not gonna lie, even just coming on here and just doing this show, and just there was a part of me was like, man, damn, maybe I shouldn't get on and talk about this shit because I'm already getting blocked. I don't want to get banned. I don't want to get shadowed, whatever. I don't know if I will. I don't know if I'm important enough, but you never know what's important. Nobody ever.
Bro,
It's like you never know who goes viral. Like, you don't know what's going to catch or what's going to be speaking to whatever person.
you were overthinking it
Yep.
because this is not the norm. You usually have a schedule. Only very rarely have I seen you go live on on a day that wasn't a designated day. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying?
True.
But this just showed me, like, when you sent me that text earlier, it was like, bro, you want to talk about this? I was like, bet, okay, let's do this because I'm pissed about it too, and it's not
Yeah.
because we're looking for views or anything like that. It's all about just getting it out, just airing it out because it's happening in real time. It's crazy, you
It
know.
is, man.
You
We're
just
gonna
needed
watch this.
you just needed to get it
Okay,
out.
good. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
it.
yeah, man. I didn't. I'm glad you came on too, bro. Because I mean, I just, like I said, I've been having like a crazy ass like week, and then
Hmm.
like with all this stuff going on, like I was already thinking about this stuff when the whole like Renee thing happened. But then like this,
Hmm.
like Saturday, when I saw this, like once again, just saying it,
Yeah.
I saw this guy, just get like murdered, bro. Like, and this is like the fucking, I don't even know. And you talk to black people, oh, there's nothing new for us. And just shut the fuck up, man. I'm just so sick and tired of everybody and their fucking groups and shit. I'm just so like I'm telling you right now, bro. I know this sounds fucking crazy, but I guess I'm gonna say it. Like, I was in the store earlier. I had
Hmm.
to get out of my house because I'm in the house a lot and it's got
Yep.
family and sometimes you got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But I was in a store, bro, and I was just like shopping myself, and there wasn't a lot of people there because of the weather, and
Yep.
there was just some people there, yo. And I
Yep.
was just looking around, and there was just scattered people, and
Yep.
I don't know what the fuck, bro. But I was at the dairy section by the yogurt.
Mm.
I was just looking down and stuff, and I looked to my right, and there was a white family there, and they had their baby with them. The baby was in the cart, mom and dad. Dad was on the phone. And I looked over, it was a young black kid. He was in there. He was getting some eggs, he was getting some milk by himself, just strolling.
Mm.
And I looked down. He was an older guy. He was getting some milk out the thing. And I was just looking. I was just looking at everybody, yo. And I was just like, paying attention.
Yep.
And I know this sounds crazy, bro, but I started getting like mad emotional, man. Like I started like feeling like this weird, like, do we understand that we are like with each other, man? It's like, it's so fucking weird, but it's
Hmm.
like we're together, yo. Like, we're
Yeah.
all together. Like, if some crazy shit happened right now,
Yeah.
and I know this sounds stupid, but it's just like if some crazy shit happened right now, we would be there. It would be us, and we would have to do whatever we had to do to make it through
Yep.
whatever shit happened.
Yep.
And it's like that sense of community, that sense of just like human interaction. It's like,
Hmm.
but you look around and you just see everybody is just like Yeah,
in
we're
their
all
own
shopping
world.
here right now. Yeah, we're just
Yeah,
it's like, do we have
everybody's in
that
their own
anymore?
world. No, I don't. I think depending on who like depending on who you are, this is why some people keep their circles small. But
Yeah,
as far as like the community as a whole, right? The way my family describes it to me. Okay, so you've heard stories, and I'm pretty sure we grew up in the time where you could still buy cigarettes for your mom or something, and all you need to do is give the guy at the corner store a note saying who this
yeah,
is for. But
yeah,
and even though that sounds to me that sounds kind of reckless, to be honest. But
yeah. It was.
you know, but but yeah, buying cigarettes or lotto tickets or whatever from for your mother. Here's the money, here's the note. Oh, I know your mom, but the reason that was possible was because of community.
That's
That
right.
that bodega owner knew somebody in the family. They got close or
Hmm.
just cool enough to be like, okay, yeah, I got you. I
Yeah,
got you. Whatever you need, I got you. Just give me the money. I know exactly what you need. I got you. Or like if somebody was or if somebody was if somebody's kid was slipping up and they were acting a fool, and one of the neighbors would be like, "Hey, come here," and then they would give them some advice, or they would tell their parents, they would call their parents like, "Hey, so and so is on the street right now. You want me to, like I'm just letting you know." That sense of community was there. You could have your neighbor babysit. You could have your cousins. You could go over to your cousin's place. This is just me. I go over my cousin's places a lot, or
yeah.
like my friend, or like my friends or what, like my friends or whatever. Now it's like, oh no, they ain't no sleeping over here. They ain't
Oh
no,
yeah,
they
yeah.
ain't no just going over to the store, picking up whatever, and then I'll pay you later. No, they ain't none of that because there's no trust.
Yeah, there's no trust,
There's
and there's also recklessness, like you were saying
yeah,
before.
it was reckless. Maybe those examples are,
No,
but
no, no,
that's
no,
how it
no.
was.
That is how it was. And even with the certain, I mean, we also there's some shit we got more knowledgeable on because we started finding out, like, people sleeping over and spending nights over people's houses. A lot of
Yeah.
times these motherfuckers was getting molested and nobody
Oh
knew
God.
about it,
Oh
and
yeah. Yeah.
there was
Because
a lot of shit.
you didn't think about that at the time, and it was still
Yeah,
happening. It
yeah,
was still happening. But for
yeah.
those who say stuff like, "Oh, this wasn't happening when I was a kid," no, you just weren't
You just weren't
aware of
aware
it.
of it.
You weren't aware. That doesn't mean it wasn't happening.
It was definitely happening. Yeah,
Like to have this rose-colored glasses, like I get nostalgic about the 90s and stuff all the time, the
yeah,
90s and early 2000s. But what I really am nostalgic for is when I was a kid and I did not, and all I worried about at the time was hanging out with my friends, watching cartoons, being with my family. I didn't know about the other stuff that was going on. I
yeah.
didn't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't know about everything else that was going on outside, like outside my window. I had no idea about about the politics of the world at that point.
Yeah,
Like no clue. And I'm not saying ignorance is bliss, but when you're a kid and you have no clue about that part of the world, but also I think that was also done on purpose because they were also messing up history. We had no idea. We were
yeah.
still we were still out here thinking that Clinton discovered America. I mean Clinton,
Columbus.
Columbus.
Yeah.
So
We got a lot more. We got a lot more
it's the whole
information
thing.
now too.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of factors, man. It's like, we're two people on a fucking show right now. Like,
Yeah.
we're never gonna give all the answers, but what
No.
we're talking about is in the realm of what we're saying. Like, the whole principle is basically that I'm bringing up, like, on
Mhm.
this show, is basically two things, yo.
Mhm.
We have all lost our fucking minds. Simple as that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to
Yeah.
say it. Like,
No, yeah,
literally,
yeah, yeah.
we've
No,
all we
speak
have
on it.
all lost our fucking minds to the
Hmm.
point where you can be shown something and still make your opinion, flip it. I don't give a fuck what it is. I don't even know how to fucking detail it anymore. Honestly.
Okay.
Also,
Yeah.
even though you want to have a finger to point, even though you think you have the answer, it's like me. I think I got it. I don't think I'm just sharing with you what I believe. Like, that's just what I think based off of what the fuck I'm thinking. It's not
Yeah.
off of just, oh, I just decided to think this way. No, no, no. Fuck that. I'm trying to pay attention to what I've seen. If I've missed something, then I missed it. I'm open. I'm like, fuck it. I missed it. I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
But everything that's happening is being shown to us
more than ever.
More than ever, bro. There's nothing, just like you said before, Kyle, like all this stuff that we had from the past. That's like I was saying about the community. It's crazy because I'm bitching about community, but I'm talking to somebody who's in a completely different state that I've never met before, and I've been talking to you for 3 fucking years. I
3 years.
More than I talk to my other fucking people in my family and shit.
3 years, man.
3 years.
We've never met outside of a screen.
Outside of the screen. On this 1-2 screen right here. But things are different. Things are different. Things are getting more different. But there's also some things that you just can't argue with anymore, bro. You can't argue with a video. People are just too used to accommodating everybody's fucking beliefs, man. And I know that sounds bad. I'm sorry. I know it does. But unfortunately, you get to a position where you have to start understanding that you can't always be validated. You can't always just, well, I believe this and I have the right to believe it. You do have the right to believe it. But you also should have some kind of understanding that just because I have the right to believe this, you should also kind of be reasonable about what the fuck is really going on. Yeah. Especially if it's just a choice that you're making to believe it. You watch a video with somebody getting fucking gunned down and you're saying domestic terrorism and all this other shit, and but somebody who was at a fucking, even if this motherfucker, which he wasn't, I keep saying just to be on a fucking even plane, just so there's no argument. This guy was just videotaping these motherfuckers doing what they do, and then he started, well, get out of here, and pulling them away, and then one lady fell, and the guy he was fucking trying to help the lady back up. Yep. They grabbed this motherfucker, man, and I'm pretty sure what it looked like from the videos, it looked like, I guess when they were in their entanglement with this guy, they went and they must have saw, like, you know, he was bending down and he had his shit
they saw his gun. So, yeah.
And they attacked him, they forced him to the ground, and they took it and they still murdered this motherfucker.
Yeah. They could have stopped right there.
They could have just they could have stopped right there. His ass up right there. But see, like you said, Kyle, that right there is the point for why we're talking. If he would have got locked up, listen, it still would have been a conversation. Like, what the fuck? Yeah,
but he still would have been alive.
Exactly. So it's like, if that's the limit, and then but that's the limit. Like, I would have even understood more of a conversation. Like, no, fuck it, he got involved. Really should have. All right, I don't agree with you. But I can be more reasonable and be like, okay, I don't agree with you. Okay, maybe if he was home, like I said in my other video that got blocked on fucking TikTok, he's out there trying to make a difference. I'm sitting on my fucking couch trying to admit, like, hey, listen, I don't know what to fucking do. I could go out with a sign my whole life just to say, well, I was there. I can do that. But how the fuck am I going to do that? Is that beneficial for me? Am I that kind of person that's going to go out into a mob of people? Do I believe in those people? Do I back those people? Yeah, because I feel like people are trying to stand up for something. People are trying to stand up for something.
And that's it. They are trying to stand up for something. We've all been doing that since the beginning of time. We are trying to stand up for something. Like, I am, I see, we see everything more now than ever, but also we also see so many. I mean, right now you and I can tell the difference between a real video and an AI video. That was a real video.
Most part, yeah.
That was definitely that was real. 110%. That wasn't doctored. That wasn't nobody edited it. Nothing. They just put it up there, and it's the truth. But like we've talked about before, you can have the truth right in your face.
It doesn't matter anymore.
It does not matter, because we're trying to figure out a reason. Now, personally, now this is just me. I have been told all my life that everything happens for a reason. I don't believe that everything happens for a reason. I do believe in coincidences to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? I do believe in wrong place, wrong time, right place, right time. All of that stuff. with everything that's going on right now, the tensions are up, the blocks are hot. We're in freaking military times here. We got people acting like stormtroopers.
No lie.
You know what I'm saying? We got people out here acting like stormtroopers. This is not the first time, which is why they're getting compared to other things back in history. This is not the first time. This is nothing new.
And it's also going on in other countries too. It's not even just here.
It's not even just here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's the first time that it's been here in a while, the way that it is right now.
Right now, yeah.
I don't know. I honestly don't even know if it's any. I can't think of another time where it's been as bad as it is getting right now.
As we've gotten older, I can't think of any, but I'm pretty sure if you ask an OG, they could probably tell you. You know what I'm saying? But us, man. I don't know. Like I've only been here my entire life. I've never had I've gone to different countries or whatever on vacation though.
Oh yeah, yeah. Different countries for sure.
On vacation. I've been to Jamaica. I've been to 2 other American territories, the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, but they got their own thing going on here. But people got to remember that they're also American territories. Look that up if you don't know what that is, and I think that's another problem. You know, I'm gonna be honest. People don't know. That's why they're so, like they panic when somebody's out here speaking Spanish and they're like, go back to your country. I come from Puerto Rico. I'm,
exactly. I'm from America. There definitely has been worse times. I'm sitting there thinking like civil wars.
But I'm talking about as of right now, like when we were growing up. Except you're seeing more and more evidence because here's the interesting thing about that. The news will report it for a little bit and then move on to something else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But people like just regular civilians with platforms, they will keep going if they feel that strongly about it and that passionately about it, which totally I understand. They will keep going. But the mainstream news won't. And it's gotten to a point where we've had to censor ourselves just so our videos don't get shadow banned. You say the wrong thing, and then the robots, the bots will flag it as something. Oh, this is hate speech. Oh, this is against our policies or whatever. You got blocked you got flagged for the first time on TikTok because of something you said.
Yeah, and that's all it was too. It was just something. It was an easy. It was just
something, and you weren't offending anybody. You weren't going after anybody. You didn't. You just was expressing an opinion. It wasn't.
I was telling people to stay home.
Stay home.
Because what the fuck are you doing outside right now? Can you not see? Like you just said, the block is hot. Everything is fucking. There's no point. Like you're literally hearing people saying, "Hey, I'm just trying to do this," and when I say stay home, I'm still saying like go to work. Do your little shopping. But if you still trying to, be out in the clubs, and also not for nothing, that shit would also benefit kind of what's going on. Mm-hmm. Like how much more loud can you speak if you say, okay, fuck it. You want to do all this? I ain't doing shit.
I know. I
ain't giving no money back. I ain't fucking doing. I'm going to sit here and watch my cable. I'm going to take these next 4 months and go on a fucking vacation. You want to kick me out of my house? Kick us all out of our fucking house. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, you got to get to a point where you can gain back some kind of control because at this point, we don't have much. You can't step outside. Potentially, bro. This is just the beginning.
Yeah.
And we're going to get to a fucking part where it's like you driving down the street and it's going to be checkpoints and this and that. And you think you watching these fucking movies that everybody been saying all this time since I remember when Batman fucking with Bane came out. Oh man, they trying to show us what it's about to be. Bruh, this is it.
Here's the thing.
Fucking 10 years ago.
Like here's the thing. And everybody said, these are just movies. I don't want messages in my movies. I don't want messages in my songs. Guess what, man? I've heard of people who say, oh, I don't want so-and-so to be, because they're political, right? And guess who they're talking about? Rage Against the Machine. They're talking about Rage Against the Machine and freaking Green Day and all these other all these other bands that have said straight up what their politics are in their songs, and people are like, oh, I don't want to listen to them anymore. You've been listening to them since you were a teenager or younger.
Yep.
What happened now? So you think that you think that's the issue? That's like if somebody walked up to me and said, I don't want to listen to Public Enemy anymore. They're too woke. They're too political. They're Public Enemy. Yeah. They've always every song Public Enemy. Their name and their logo is literally a b-boy and a scope.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Fight the power.
Everything
yep.
that they
fight
say.
The power that be. Yeah, man.
You know. They're talking about base. They're talking about how they do not like the system. They're talking about what goes on in the streets, and it's still happening.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You can choose what to listen to or what not to listen to, but also keep in mind. But are you actually listening?
I think it's more along the lines that people don't want to handle serious shit when they're trying to be entertained. Because it does take away, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I get it. I think about that shit all the time when I'm seeing all the woke shit. I'm not gonna even fucking lie to you. Like, I don't need to see this character just because it fits the narrative of what we're dealing with in real life. I get that. I get that shit a lot, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I don't need Superman to be black because you're trying to make more powerful black people. I don't fucking need that, bro. Make a different character. Like, and I know that might hit people's, but here's the thing. I'm really starting to not care. I'm tired of fucking trying to censor myself in a way where I'm not trying to hurt anybody, or but I am trying to say, like, my personal feeling. I get that for you, but it's just I just don't really feel like that's necessary. I just don't really feel like, you know, that everybody has to always be accommodated all the time. I don't want to be. I'm not always watching a movie so I can. Where's the black guy? So I can be relatable to it. I don't fucking care.
It's just. Yeah, but either way, it's like even sometimes when you're not intentionally looking for something, or even if it's not even in there like you think it is, it's gonna resonate with somebody somehow. You know what I'm saying?
In some way. Yeah, exactly.
In some way, even if it's not the original, like the original intent. Like for example, X-Men. I'll give you a perfect example. When people talk X-Men, they compare Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. They basically say that Magneto is Malcolm X, and Professor X is Martin Luther King. Same goals, really. You know what I'm saying? But they just have a different way of going about it. When people would talk to Stan Lee about it, he says that was not his original intent. Like, yeah, he was thinking about discrimination and stuff like that, but not as it pertained to actual race and whatever. That's why anybody can be an X-Men. It's something you're born with. But then people out here are like, oh, but X-Men are too. Where have you been the entire time? You're just, like, that's it. It's just a sprinkle of it. But what it is I do not think that people are like, when I'm looking at entertainment. Right, when I'm looking at entertainment and then I go back and rewatch it, I might pick something up, later. You know what I'm saying? That may not have anything to do with the original story, but it might remind me of something. And it's like, was that the inspiration? Then you look it up, and it's like, oh no, because I'm an overthinker. So
so am I.
You know what I'm saying? And I know you are. I know you are. That's how. I think that's another reason why you and I get along so well.
Yeah,
we're freaking
over fucking thinker.
We are overthinkers to the nth degree. And sometimes that stops us from even doing what we want to do, because they're like, oh, should I do this at this point?
Right.
And you just said you didn't know if you should go live today because you don't know if it's going to reach people, or you don't know, but you did it anyway.
Yeah. So fuck it, man. Because sometimes you do have to do that too, because like you're saying, like, there's a lot of reasons behind shit. There's a lot of stuff where I do understand why people do things. I because I'm an overthinker, I do analyze that shit. And I don't always get it right, because I'm still analyzing, like, in my own opinion and shit, but I do try. I do try to understand where people are coming from. I do try. It doesn't mean I'm gonna give a fuck. Like, I can understand where you're coming from, but I still don't care.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I gotta hurry up. I'm late for work. I've been late for work before, but I don't give a fuck. You're not cutting me off. Like, but at the same time, it's just I understand everybody has opinions.
Yep.
And I also understand why I'm attacking that right now. And like I said before, very simply, we watched something happen on Saturday, and there was no dismissing it. There was no argument. There was no there was nothing that you can say, and I keep saying it. There was nothing that you can say against it. It was what it was.
Yeah.
But we still got people fucking arguing.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand it. It's one of the most difficult fucking things outside of like a relationship, man, where it's just like you get to a point, even like in some arguments, me and my wife, like, just like there's just some things where it's like, how can we be this off? Like, how do we have this much conversation happening? And at the end of the day, like, you both know we don't really want to be fighting right now. We would much rather be hanging out, chilling, watching a movie, spending some time together, doing some this, doing some that. We could just be around each other and fucking be happy as hell to be around each other. But you're playing a game, I'm surfing online, whatever. And that's how we always would like to be. But still, we're still engaged in this argument. We're still trying to get our points across. Like, why is it so important when we both know we don't want to do that? You know why? Because of ego, because of
pride,
because of pride, because of all of these things that at the end of the day is not a fact. The fact is, we know damn well we don't want to be going through this shit right now.
Yeah.
We might even know that it's important for you to stand your ground. That's important sometimes.
Yeah.
But when you're standing your ground just to stand your ground, I mean, is it really standing your ground, or is it just trying to feel, once again, opinion? When you're watching a video of pure fucking evidence of exact facts that happened, and you're arguing with it. No, you understand it. He shouldn't have been. Shouldn't have what? Didn't you see blah blah blah? Didn't you see this? Look, this happened. Look. Here, let me pause it for you. Let me circle it. Let me show you evidence. No, it doesn't matter. I saw this. Okay, well, why am I talking to you? What the? You have a fucking voice, like, and then you get into that argument. Like, why do you have a? How do you decide? Like, how do you decipher? Well, this person's not going to be understandable. So next time we have this conversation, like something like this happens, let's get him out of here. Let's not ask him anymore because but you can't even do that because then people abuse the power of that. There's no fucking way. There's no way to make
everybody happy.
No, exactly. Yeah, maybe that's the best way to say it. There's no way to have just direct facts lead. That's it. Like, there's nothing else. You can't say something to a group of people and a group of people are just in a full motherfucking understanding of it.
No,
and that's where we're at now, man.
And that's and like I try to find, because there are times where I will get on my soapbox and give my opinions on things. I got friends that are on, like we might be on this, we might be on two different sides of an issue. But at the end of the day, we're still friends. Yeah. At the end of the day, I'ma still call this person my brother or my sister. At the end of the day, I can see that we disagree, but there are so many things that we do agree on.
Yeah.
That it doesn't matter what we don't agree on. Like, I love how we can have differing, like even you and I, we don't agree on everything. Yeah. We've known each other. We've known each other for 3 years. Had so much conversation, serious and otherwise. But we've tried to see things from the other's point of view. You're not trying to just shove your opinions or anything down my throat or anybody else that you've had up here because you're open-minded. One thing we have to be open-minded about is the fact that we could be wrong. And that's okay.
Supremely important. Yes.
That's one thing we have to be, and that is across all of the the world, rules, creation, whatever. there is a point where you have to come to grips with the fact that you could be wrong.
Could be wrong. Yeah.
That you could be wrong. You could be right, sure, but there are sore winners just like there are sore losers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very true.
So
Very true.
can we just agree to disagree on, you know, on certain things? Present your case, present your evidence, your facts, and let's see how this this works out instead of yelling at each other. Now, I've done that because, you know, I got siblings. We don't agree on everything. We've made each other upset. All of that stuff. But then when I see grown people do it, like when I see like grown people do it, I'm like, okay, I wish I could put all of y'all on a timeout. Or in some cases, like, okay, in some cases, you know what I'm saying, like, I get a whooping from my mom or a whooping from my dad, and then that's it. Then I have to start all over again and regret what I did later. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But we can't do that. We can't do that as we get older.
Yeah. I mean, in some cases too, because it's just like, you know, like and it's good you're saying this, because it's like there's some cases where it's like I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who can, once again, bro, it's so fucking hard to define what's factual. Yep. It's so hard. And it's like I think it's another giant problem in our communication with each other, because at the end of the day, a fact by pure definition is something that is indisputable. Like, you should be able to know that this is a fact. I'm talking into a microphone right now. That's a fact. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't argue with that. But then you'll have people, like you said, there'll be people who will still argue with it. Yep. And then it's like, now you're in your balance of like, well, I have to understand people. You know, now you've just discredited a fucking fact. It's like, it's such a fucking weird complex, man. And it's very difficult. And I think it's one of the biggest issues that we have with understanding. It's one of the biggest issues that we have with communication. It's also one of the biggest problems that we have with the way that we're manipulated into thinking that constantly, bro. It's like you think that red, blue, you hear these trigger words, you get in your defensive state in these patterns. And you have these people full of hatred. You have people full of self-righteousness. You have people who are completely wanting to be a part of something. Even that's what gang mentality is. Like, you have, because they want to be a part. Yeah, they want to just want to be a part of something. They want to be a part of something. Yeah. I mean, it's just one of the things where I don't know if we're ever gonna be better. I don't know if we're ever, I don't know if we're supposed to be better. I don't know if this is just the nature of our beasts. I think that what's going to happen, man, at the end of the day, is the people who are orchestrating this shit. And I know this is going to sound really bad, yo. The people who are orchestrating this shit, I'm sorry to say, they fucking know what they're doing. Yeah, because they've been doing it for generations. You know, they've been doing it for generations. Like, it is crazy. It's like, okay, so my grandmother was a conspiracy theorist. Okay, my grandmother was a conspiracy theorist, but it wasn't like the over the top ones. Like, I don't think she believed in like lizard people or giant ice wall or anything like that. Shit, why not? But I do. but she did believe. But she did know that politics was a joke. Health insurance was a joke. Freaking, they'd be like, oh, they're tracking our phones. They could track your computer just from a CD. You know what I'm saying? All of this stuff. And then one day we're talking, and she's like, turn on CNN. I'm like, and she knew I didn't watch the news, so I was like, okay, I'm turning on CNN with her on the phone, and it was talking about when we still burned CDs. Yeah. It was talking about how when you burn a CD, a code is embedded on that CD, and anybody can track you. All they gotta do is punch in that code. Like, Nana, you were right. Nana, you were right. I'm like, oh shoot, you were right. And then the tracking our phone thing. They admitted to tracking our phone since the tracking our phone. Now they say since the 80s. She was around during the 50s and 60s. So she has a different opinion on that when she, and now
And I'm like, oh snap! They admitted to tracking our phones. They admitted to wanting to build a second internet back in 2004 during the Bush era, because they wanted to, because of terrorism, they wanted to track terrorists by building a second internet. And I'm like, okay, that sounds plausible, but the first person I heard stuff like that from was my grandmother.
Isn't that crazy?
You know what I'm saying?
And everybody, like you said, even when you said the word conspiracy theorist, like that's one of those words. It's dismissible. It makes it dismissible. But at the end of the day,
it's no longer a conspiracy if it's a proven fact.
If it's fucking fact. If it's fact. If it's something that is happening. But the fact is, here's another fact. Because it was once deemed bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just harder for anybody to take it out of that category. So it's like, no matter what, it's the other issue that we have now, where it's just like, you can just walk up to somebody, they did this, and then bam, everybody sees it, everybody records it, puts it online, fucking forever.
Yeah.
That person 3 weeks later, wait a minute, he didn't do this. Oh,
he didn't do this.
Now there's 30% of the people who posted it and did everything and believed that he did do it. 30% of those motherfuckers now know that he didn't do it. Yep. But the other fucking, 70%, they never heard the redaction. They never heard anything else, but he did it. So it's still a false sense of reality. It's a false sense of reality. You may be learning 20 fucking years later. Wait a minute, that guy didn't do it? I grew up my whole life thinking he did. That's the problem. It's the same thing with the conspiracy theory. Your grandma was telling you some real shit, and whether or not she was making it up based off of other evidence or stuff like that was happening around her, or she had legitimate facts that were given to her and they were presented to her for whatever reasons, she was sharing it with y'all, and everybody was like, that doesn't seem possible.
Yeah.
So I'm going to dismiss it, and the only way I know how to dismiss it. That's just conspiracy, or that's whatever.
It just showed me, because we've already know, like, when my, and I bring this example up all the time because it's a great example. My father was the one that told me, once you get to high school, they're going to teach you the real stuff. Like, if he told me this in elementary school, what do you mean when I get to high school, they're going to teach me the real stuff? That's when I learned about Columbus. That's when I learned about a lot of stuff that they still had us writing reports about that were either misconstrued or false, right? Yeah. And I'm like, why are you teaching us this from the beginning like it's a fact? And then later on you find evidence to the contrary. And then one day I'm just scrolling. Right. One day I'm just scrolling because I look up a lot of educational stuff too, and then they realized there's a bunch of books about the early days of the educational system in America. It was designed that way because back in the day they wanted, until this day, they don't want intelligent people. And what I mean by that, because there are different levels of intelligence. I'm not just talking about book smarts. You know what I'm saying? But what I mean is, look at the way literacy is in the United States. It is dipped down considerably, and we have all of this technology. We have it at our fingertips. We have everything from audio books to educational videos, and our literacy level has gone way down. Why is that?
Because we don't need to read. Because we don't need to do math. We don't need to do anything because we have tools to do that for us, bro.
And we've overdone it.
And we've completely. But think about it like this, and you're usually the one on in my seat right now that's telling me this shit. But it's the main reason is because we don't have to go out and hunt and gather no more. We don't have to go out and fucking build our house. We don't have to go out and do all of this shit. You know why? Because everything has been simplified. We go to a grocery store. We go to this. We buy a house that's already made. We pay somebody and say, hey, listen, I got enough money. Go in that fucking field over there and build that shit for me and call me when it's done. And when it's done, you just walk in that bitch and put other shit in it that you want to put in it.
You ain't gotta know what kind of material they use.
You don't gotta know jack shit. All you gotta know is say, I want a house that's warm, and I want 3 offices in that bitch, and then bam, and then people go and they do it, and they show you first. They maybe, but the other part of it, like you said, why are we in this world with all of this shit? We should be the smartest motherfuckers on the planet, but the reason is, if it's doing it for us. When my kids have homework and stuff like that or whatever, there's sometimes where my wife, she'll be a little harder on them, like, hey, go and do this, and I want you to do 5 paragraphs and just do this. She'll just give them shit or whatever. Do this and write a report about this and do 5 paragraphs, and then I want you to show me where you got your information from, like write it on a separate piece of paper. And I'll be sitting there like, if that was me and I got Chat GPT, listen, bro, I never would fucking do work again, yo. I would Chat GPT, I would Google every fucking thing I do, and it would be the easiest time doing. I'd get straight A's until they figure out those doing it or whatever.
But that's what's happening. Like, kids are using Chat GPT and other AI models to do their work for them, and it's gotten to a point where teachers in college, like professors in college, they're asking kids to do oral exams. They want to go back to oral exams. Some want to go back to writing in cursive because the kids can't read the cursive. Some want to go back. Some want to go back to teaching them about analog clocks because they can't read. They can't read time. They're showing up to class late, not because because they like in New York. They have this law against phones in certain parts of New York. Now, I don't know if it's statewide or just in certain parts, but they want to, like, they said, hey, look, no more phones in school, like no more phones in school. But it ended up backfiring because the kids did not know how to tell time outside of looking at their phones or looking at a digital readout on a clock. That's
crazy.
So the kids are showing up late to class. And I'm like, so why did you stop teaching it in the first place? I get that it got easier because everything became digital, but we have to learn the old school too, just in case. Like, there's some kids that don't know how to write an essay, like a 2-page essay. They're like, oh, I can't do that. I can't do this in 30 minutes to an hour. What do you mean? What do you mean you can't do this?
Listen, I know, bro. I got my fucking kids right here.
And you got kids, and I'm not trying to say nothing about the kids, but at the same
it really is though. That's the reason. Like I said, that's the reason why my wife was doing that shit, because a lot of times my kids, even though they're going to school every day, they're doing all this. When they had to do that homeschool shit, they had to stay home, and we really got a bird's eye view about what the hell these kids really knew how to do and what they were really learning in school. And we're like, damn. Like, this shit it seems like, I told you already. We all, that because of everything you said, that's the reason why I homeschool my daughter. Besides just the safety part where I just want my baby fucking home. That's the reason why I choose to, because my daughter's in fucking first grade. She's supposed to be first grade level. My daughter's on like a second grade going on third grade level right now. With reading and writing, and we know because we get the workbooks. Yeah. So when we get the workbooks, a lot of times I'll just print out worksheets and stuff like that and teach her shit, and then it'll just go with the worksheet. Or her mom does the same thing. We have different programs we use.
There's so many websites for that. I'm going to do that for my nephew. There's so many websites. So much, bro.
But you have the ability to, once we got the first grade workbooks, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, damn, she did this already. She did all of this last year. And then we got the second grade where we're like, okay, wait a minute. She's already adding and subtracting fucking triple digit numbers and stuff.
She's comprehending it. She's comprehending it.
It's also more personalized, so it's easier for me to just focus on her. It's just one individual, not a classroom of, hey, this kid doesn't really know how to read that well. This person reads phenomenally. This person, doesn't even fucking pay attention. This person's over here trying to jump out the window. So it's just a matter of just like, accommodation, I think. Yeah. But also, like you said, you have all these tools that are replacing your hard work. So all these tools that are replacing your muscle memory, your hands, feel and touch and shit like that or whatever. But this is a good ass conversation. But I've been trying to play this fucking video. We've been talking about some really
you showed that up about a half hour ago.
A while ago, right? But I wanted to play this video because, like I said, I've been watching a lot, and I'm probably overindulging. But listen, it's just this. I think this is one of the ones at least that I've been watching, and it's just this shit is crazy, bro. All right, so let's watch this. Let's check this out real quick.
Yep.
This ICE is not about immigration any longer. It's about making sure that American citizens do not stand up to the power of the state. And that is fascist. But in this country that has more than 340 million people, that is not enough people to put down all those American citizens that they are trying to cow. And this is one of the reasons you're seeing them rush people from city to city. They don't have enough people to be in all these cities. And this is the other reason they're going for smaller cities. Minneapolis, St. Paul. Now they're talking about Lewiston, Maine. Lewiston, Maine has 37,000 people in it. You know, this is not some great triumph of taking over New York City, right? So one of the things I think they're really trying to do is to project the idea that they are unbeatable, that they are unsinkable, that nobody can possibly stop this juggernaut. And in part to pull behind them that imagery of, you know, the marching troops down the roadways in Nazi Germany to try and convince people that they are more powerful than they actually are. But I do think it's important that people do not mistake this moment. That is, it has been so easy for so long for people to say, oh, America's never going to go down the Nazi route. They're never going to become fascist. And one of the things that scholars have noted, and the U.S. government noted during World War II, is that fascism is a political ideology that Benito Mussolini developed in the 1920s. But the idea that some people are better than others and have the right to rule is deeply embedded in the United States and was deeply embedded in the United States before Benito Mussolini was even born.
For real.
So we do have the elements of fascism in our DNA, and the idea that we won't go that direction is simply belied by the fact we have in the past. In the American South, from 1874, for example, to about 1965. And now, one of the things that really horrifies me is the umbrella of secrecy over the detention centers run by ICE. Now, we know people are dying in them. We know as of this morning, thanks to Judd Legum, that people who are being held in those detention centers are not getting medical care. You look at that, and for somebody like me, I remember the first, I mean, I wasn't alive, but I've read them. The first articles in the New York Times about Hitler's concentration camps. And there's a difference between a death camp and a concentration camp, right? But the first about the concentration camps were about how they're clean, nobody's complaining about anything. If you're in them, you don't complain. If you work hard, you're going to get out in a year. I mean, real propaganda and real misrepresentation of what those things actually were. And right now, I'm looking at what we're not seeing in those detention centers. And soon we'll be saying to the American people, I'll write a letter about this, we're there. We are there, and we must stop it. We know where it goes, and we know that that's not who we want to be. That this ICE is not about immigration any longer. It's about making sure that American citizens.
It's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
it's really crazy, yo.
Oh yeah, and we're sitting here just repeating history.
Yeah,
we're sitting here just repeating history, just with a shiny new coat, and that's it, just with a shiny new coat of paint. You know
yeah, man. It was like when and like I said, I've been watching a lot of this stuff recently, man, and just seeing like all of these people who are talking, and that's another point. Same thing with research. Yeah. Like when you're doing stuff like this and you're having conversations like this, one thing you want to be careful is you're not spreading propaganda. Like you don't want to spread misinformation. That's one of the things why I understand why social media will take it upon themselves to block certain things. Like, hey, listen, you're one of the people who don't want to talk about like COVID, and you're saying all this stuff, but it's not true, and people are going to think it, and it's going to spread, and then we're going to have a legitimate problem because of it. I understand that, but that's where the power comes in. And then if the power that be, you know, whoever that is or whatever that is, decide to say, hey, listen, we also don't want you talking about this, so we're not going to do that. Hey, listen, we also don't want you talking about that, so we're not going to do that. We have the power to say whatever the fuck we want.
It's so. You know, it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's happened before. Like there's okay. So I, for years, did not watch the news because something about it just seemed, besides the fact that a lot of it was negative all the time, it seemed very one-sided depending on on what news program you were watching. News used to be, at least the way it was described to me, and I didn't even believe it then, but news used to be neutral, right? It was just what was happening. You reported on that, and then that was it. Now you have left versus right. You have this type of news program, and then you have this type of news program that is like this, right? There's none of this. It's all all of, oh, if you're more conservative, then you watch this, Fox News, for example. If you're more liberal, then you watch, say, PBS. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But so when I was learning how to make a news package in broadcasting school, my teacher who was working in the news, everybody that was working in that school were volunteering their time while they were doing the jobs that they were teaching us about, right? So he said, sometimes we will cut certain reports if we feel like it's not going to get the reaction we want it to get, or if there's so many things that, because they only got an hour to put a news package together, right? Yeah. And there are times where they will cut certain things out of a story because they got to move on to the next thing, quick, or they want to, they're trying to push some sort of narrative. Case in point, a young lady who worked in, I believe, Chicago. I started following her TikTok, right? She worked in the Chicago. Chicago newsroom, and she was bringing them certain stories, but they said no because it didn't fit their broadcast stations like code of ethics or something, right? Okay. Their narrative, right? And then she ended up leaving, but I don't know if she left or if she got fired. I don't remember, but because she would report on stuff that you wouldn't hear anybody else talking about, right? But guess who, the station that she used to work for, guess who they were owned by? The Church of Latter-day Saints. They had they had their finger on it. They were like, look, this is what we want you to report on. Not this, but this. But it's news and it's stuff that people should know. But this is why we have, this is why I started going to TikTok in the first place, was because a lot of people that were reporting on this stuff, it wasn't stuff that you always were hearing, right?
Yeah, we're able to hear about.
Able to hear.
Yeah, there was no place
able
for
to
it.
hear. And
no
then they had this whole this is remember when they were trying to ban TikTok because it was a Chinese platform?
Oh, so, man,
yeah, that whole thing. And now we have somebody who bought TikTok. But it's like, oh boy, I feel.
Yeah, I don't even know what it is anymore.
I don't know, man. It's just this is just where we are. But we gotta keep ourselves above water. We gotta keep thinking critically.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It ain't about this side versus this side. It's about all of us. There's gonna be things that we disagree on. There's gonna be things that we agree on, but it's never going to be one thing or the other, or at least it shouldn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, it's one of the things, like we said, I think, we made some good ass points, in this live. Like, it's just, first of all, it's just everything kind of sucks with this situation. Not even kind of sucks, but it does suck. I am kind of nervous about the direction that the country is going in. Like, this is just the beginning of January, and all this shit is really kicking off. Every time stuff like this happens, I start to think back of, and this is just the closest, remembrance that we can relate to at this point, is when 2019 was ending.
Yeah.
And you heard the whispers of the shit that was going to be going on with, eventually that was COVID or whatever. And until then, 2019, the end of 2019, nobody fucking knew what was going to go down.
Nope.
Like 3 months later.
Nope.
Okay. Nobody had nobody had an idea. Nobody heard of a face mask before. Nobody heard of any of that shit. Nobody was thinking about anything can get that bad. And then when it got bad, everybody was looking around like, what the hell is going on? I gotta have arrows in the supermarket. I gotta do this. I gotta do bro. I'm telling you, I was out there for that whole shit.
Oh man.
But every time stuff like this happens, I start to think, especially when it's at the beginning of the year, and I'm like, wait a minute, we just started. Is this the whispers of what's to come?
Mhm.
And are we still heading, like I said at the beginning of this shit, are we still heading into, oh man, this is just the beginning. Oh man, we're not going to be able to go anywhere. Is this martial law? Is all of this guy, getting his life taken to yesterday?
Yeah.
Is this all the design? Are they trying to press people to start uproaring and civil war and protesting and wilding out and going crazy? And you hear, of course, like the other shit about, which I fully believe, call this conspiracy, call it whatever you want. I fully believe that there's actors and crisis responders and blah, blah, blah. And there's people that's out there who are trying to instigate situations for a narrative.
Yeah.
But is this where we're going? Is this what we're supposed to do so that rules and laws and things can be made because of it? And that's what I firmly believe is happening right now. I think that we're going to get to June, and this shit sucks to say this, and I hope that I'm wrong. I hope I look back and eat my words in this, but I really think we're going to get to June of this year, and we're going to be back in a situation where we're not going to be able to move as freely as we want coming soon. I'm fucking nervous about it.
Come on, man. We already went through 5 years of COVID, dude. Come on.
Dead ass, bro. I'm dead ass, man. I listen, I think COVID is going to be a fucking dream compared to the reality of what I think is going to happen. Is it's going to be in every big city at least. Every big city at least. You're going to have all these things where it's going to be basically like, hey, listen, there's going to be, like I said, checkpoints. There's going to be different things as far as just like, hey, listen, you have until here. I think everything's going to close moderately at the same time. You're going to have curfews. You're going to have schools are going to look a lot different. And there's all this different technology that, that these ICE guys are supposed to be using as far as like facial detection.
Oh yeah, they're doing that.
There's a lot of shit, man.
Oh god, no, there's
a lot of shit, yo.
You see what they're doing to, like, you've seen those videos on what they might be doing based on, like, they want to charge, like I was hearing things like they want to charge you based on your income. They want to charge you certain prices based on what you're wearing. They want to try based on how you look and all this stuff, right? Because because business is trying to make money. They always trying to make that bag. So, and now all our information is out there.
Yeah, forget about it.
Every single bit. Like, you can just break it down to zeros and ones. I am binary code to another person. That's all I am.
That's
you know
it.
What I'm saying? I have been robbed before. I have been robbed digitally before. I have been, like, they tried to get my grandmother one time because they knew they knew one of my relatives' names, right? But she had the foresight to be like, okay, well, not the foresight, but she had the, she had the thought that was like, okay, let me call my son, my dad, who was a retired policeman, right? And they were like, oh, why you gotta call him? Why you gotta call him? Why you gotta call him? They knew it was a scam. They scammed the call, and there you go. But point is, they knew information about parts of my family, and it's up there.
Everything is everywhere, bro.
Everything is everywhere. Everything's being sold. Everything's being sold like freaking stocks.
And that's like the easy part. That's like the easy part, because the easy part is knowing that, hey, listen, you get online every day and you do your Google searches and you do your social medias and you do your, hey, what's the weather today? And you do this. No, every bit of fucking information, from the voices that they hear, that they detect when they're not supposed to, the conversation that they have, the arguments that they have, the times that they know that you're sad, the times that they know that you're happy, the times that you're on vacation, the time that you're in school, the times that you're learning, the bully that's picking on you. Every single bit of that information is, like we just said, bro. What do we have now? What is the thing that we're playing around with? Artificial intelligence. That shit is extremely structured, it's extremely detailed, and it's growing more precise and more dominant every fucking second. But here's the thing. If you got all this information of a source, binary code, like you said, and you take that motherfucker and you say, hey, ChatGPT, make me in 20 years. And you have the motherfucking whatever it is, 3D printer, whatever the fuck it is, genetic makeup printer, whatever the fuck it is, and you can make me, my personality, my mentality, every single thing about me 20 years from now based off of my history and shit like that I've been feeding this fucking information to this machine for all of these years. And they can guesstimate and they can give you whatever kind of, hey, if you keep going this way, blah, 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 whatever, and get a pretty detailed understanding. It's a fucking fortune teller. It's a fucking time machine. It's every piece of crazy fiction that we've ever had, bro. We're playing with it.
Yeah, some people are using it. Some people are using it as a therapist, right? Look,
we're fucked, man.
Let's just
be honest.
Some people are using ChatGPT as a therapist. Now, part of me can understand that because therapy is expensive. You know what I'm saying? And insurance don't want to cover everything. You know what I'm saying? But also, ChatGPT, while in some cases it sounds nice, you pick the voice, you pick it in, but it's still a robot. It still will answer questions like a robot would. There's no emotion or anything in this. So you can have it agree with you, and that's it. You could tell it to disagree with you, and it'll be like, oh, okay. From now on, I will disagree. Blah 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 blah. A human being will just tell you exactly how they feel. Well, some human beings will tell you exactly how they feel.
You got to think about it, right?
Some human beings will tell you exactly how they feel.
I'm telling you.
You don't know who to trust half the time.
No, you. But that's the thing, and I know, and we have these conversations all the time, and I know you do try, because you try to discourage. I think you do it intentionally because I don't think anybody wants to think of the legitimate power and control at the end of the day that AI represents. It represents a more powerful, dominant consciousness, whatever you want to call. I don't give a fuck, bro. Whatever you want to call it, it represents something that can outdo us. And at the end of the day, if you put a source like that into a mobility, like if you create Ultron, okay, from fucking Avengers.
I mean,
if you do that,
yep.
And you give this motherfucker powered structure, and you give it the ability to be mobile and fucking self-sufficient, bro, at the end of the day, man, all you got to do is make 400,000 of them, and they're owning the planet. It sucks to think that.
Yeah.
It sucks to think that even without mobility, just with all the connective sources that we have, that we utilize, that we've dumbed ourselves down, like we were talking about earlier, with calculators and simple shit that we thought that we never, with fucking vacuums that vacuum the floor because we're too fucking fat and lazy to get our asses up and just do that. The problem is everything that this bitch can connect to, every single source, your refrigerator, your iron, everything that it can do, that it can fuck up, that it can establish, it's already smarter than us. It's already outthinking us. It's already got one up on us because we rely on it. We rely on it for the information. We rely on it for work. We rely on it for almost everything we fucking do, man. When I was driving home earlier, I was checking the damn the weather on my phone or whatever, and I was talking into it, and it was being fucking stupid. And I was getting mad at it. Come on, bro. I'm trying to figure out the time for later, not right now. And I'm telling it. I'm like, yo, not for right now, for later. And it's like, oh, okay. Here, it kind of said it in a way where it's like, oh, you should have said that, asshole.
Oh, yeah, like it's being all sarcastic, and now you're arguing with it.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there, and I'm looking like who's the idiot here? Like, and it's weird because it's just something that you're doing. It's just an easy progression. Like it's you don't think about it. But this thing right here is more power. It's more intelligent than I am. There's no fucking doubt about it. There's more intelligent. The only thing I have is control. It's almost the same thing when you think about, bro, I'm tying this all in, okay? It's almost the same thing when you think about what the government is right now and what ICE is and all that. Like that lady said in that video, they're trying to represent the power. That's what the government is trying to represent. The only thing that we have is control, but we don't know that. We don't know that. We outnumber, but we also don't have any control because we're not together. We're not in unity. We're not in synchronization. So we are just groups of prey that is being picked apart by a conglomerate fucking predator. And it's ridiculous that it's able to happen, but just like any kind of technology that we're using, we are fucking we're not at the top of the food chain anymore, bro.
No,
it's just that simple.
It's very like if we and just about everything that we've ever created, we've abused in some way, shape, or form.
We're used for bullshit.
It's very it's like, okay, look, you create light, for example. Light, like light bulbs. There was this one light bulb that when they had created light bulbs, at some point they realized that some light bulbs can last for like years. They didn't want to do that. The electric companies were like, oh no, wait a minute, that's messing with our bottom line. We want to be able to charge people for using electricity. This is too much. So they had to dumb the light bulb down, right? They had to dumb that down because they needed the profits. There are people that have created fuel. That's big oil and fuel, but anyway. So there are people that have figured out ways to turn plastics into turn plastics into fuel, turn water into fuel, turn compressed air into fuel.
They all getting fucking murdered.
And
there's one guy out there right now, but
big ups to him. I know exactly who you're talking about. Big ups to him
that kid.
because really he and talk about people coming together.
Yeah.
Okay, if this goes the way he's thinking it wants to go, he could change the world. He ain't the first person to try and do this, and he's admitted this. He's not the first one to try to do this. But every time someone tries to innovate, so we don't have to depend on the big conglomerates anymore, then the big conglomerates, they got a problem. They got an issue because it's all about the money, but it's also about control.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely nuts. And you know they ain't gonna tell us the whole truth. People are just finding out what's in our, like, we found out what's in our food years ago, and have they taken it out of the food? Nope. No. They just wanted to make it a little more difficult for you to buy stuff. Like, for example, the food stamp, the food stamp rule. You can't buy junk food with food stamps no more. Exactly. Yeah. What exactly is that going to change? How about I get it in one sense, but it's like, hold on. How about stop putting the crap in our food in the first place? How about that? Exactly. How about make it a little easier for us to buy healthier food? How about there are people out here that are trying to grow their own food, and in some places they get stopped. In some states they get stopped from growing their own food because the powers that be don't want that.
Yeah. I found out somebody who literally we're about to wrap up too in a minute, my bad.
Yeah, but
I found out that somebody who always watches these shows about, I think I've said this on here, but where these guys go into the woods and some do it for just like, I think just like creative, whatever. Yeah. But they build like these shelters or whatever, and sometimes they're camping or whatever.
Yep.
But every time I see it, like when I tell you, like, I'm not talking about like, oh, they just build like a little cave or a little cave. I don't know, these motherfuckers build straight up houses,
structures, all of that. Yeah.
With windows and fucking stone walls and I'm looking at this guy like start and he's doing it like within a week with his dogs in the forest somewhere. But do you know that you can't just live there?
Yeah.
It's against the law because most of the land, especially in America, is owned.
Yeah.
So you can't even say, listen, fuck it. I can't do this. I'm gonna go drive my car and find me an open field somewhere or open piece of land, which there's plenty, man. You might not think about it in your town or your city, even if you live in the city, even in New York City, there's places you can go where there's still probably way more than what you think. Oh, there's just buildings everywhere. No, there fucking isn't. There's a lot of open land that's just trees and deers and shit still.
Yep.
But you're so used to being in the environment that you're in, but you don't understand just how small that environment is.
Yep.
And you can go and you go find yourself a little plot of land where you got plenty of trees to cut down and animals to kill and just live in that motherfucker. No rent, no nothing, no electricity and shit either. You got to figure all that out.
Yeah.
But there's enough resources to kind of, get you a nice starting point to where you got to go. And it's just you. How long you got? 40, 50 years? Like, if you're 20, 30 years old.
That's why some people choose to live in vans. That van life.
Van life shit. But you can't just do that. Even in vans, you can't even camp every fucking where.
Nope.
That's why they do stealth camping and shit. You can't. There's certain things like if they find out, let's say you got a Walmart or whatever, hey, I'll go park at Walmart every night. If they discover it, it's against the law. They can fucking tag you, but they can ban you for it. They can trespass you. It's just crazy that there's no way that you can kind of, even homeless people. Like now they have like the tents and tent worlds and all this other shit where you go in like the LA and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you can't just live off of the land, bro. It's fucking crazy, man. You have to have some kind of person that you're paying
or some
permits. You got it's crazy, bro.
It's just diabolical how we have turned, because we used to live off the land, but because of convenience, we've gotten too complacent. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even gonna, and I ain't even gonna lie. I'm that same way. If I'm outside of these four walls, like outside of my apartment, I miss it almost immediately. You know what I'm saying? Would I be able to camp and survive on my? I've never learned. Could I? I don't know. But also I know that we have to have a balance. There's homeless people everywhere, and all they're trying to do. And all they trying to do is live. I always go back to I believe he was a pastor who opened up his small church to a group of homeless people, and they were sleeping in the pews. But the court said he couldn't do that. And I'm like, hold on a second. Is he not literally doing his job? Is he not doing his job? He's helping to house the homeless, feed the hungry, feed the needy, and you guys are telling him he can't do that.
Yeah,
it don't make any sense.
It sucks ass, man. Yeah, you can't do shit, bro. It's just at the end of the day, this whole thing we just did, this whole live, man, we've been talking for a while, and we talked about a lot of really good stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I was looking to see if there's anybody else wanted to come on too to just talk, but I mean, it's just one of the things where it's like there's a lot of people who are still in this realm of like, I don't want to talk about that shit. I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to know about that. Like, and I get it, man. This shit is uncomfortable. Yeah. It's uncomfortable, but it's just like I'm at a point where ever since I saw that shit that happened, like I said, I've got my own shit going on, bro. Like me and the house has been kind of weird right now. It's one of those things where you got a big family. It happens sometimes, man. But everybody's kind of just trying to stay to themselves. Like that's the best way I can put it right now.
Yeah.
But when you have situations like this that happen, and there was another video that I was going to play as this kid who was talking about like, hey man, I feel selfish. I feel weird for still like going to work. I feel weird for, still just doing this thing when all this stuff is going on. And it's true. Like, it's almost like we're in a fucking like imaginary place in our minds, yo, because it's like you're looking at shit, and especially if you're older, you're understanding shit. And you're still like trying to do the regular stuff. That's why I made that video today about how, listen, bro, it might just be time to understand it's not time for that right now. It's not time to keep living your life like everything is just normal. Oh, I'm still going to go to fucking Six Flags tomorrow. I get it, bro. You want to escape, but you also need to fucking be in the realm of reality, man. You gotta, this is not the time for that shit. I personally don't think that right now, I think that more people should be working in their communities to start spreading some word about, hey, listen, we may need to start moving a little bit differently. We may have these people that are coming here. We need to protect our people. We need to do this. We need to do that. That's a fucking fever dream. I'll tell you that right now. But at the end of the day, I really do believe in that. I feel like communities, these mayors and these governors, I think these motherfuckers need to start stepping up. Like you're seeing them talk. Even the police and shit, which is crazy surprising. But even the police and shit are starting to like, they're even like, hey, listen, man, these guys are doing shit that even we don't fucking do. What's going on? Like, shit, we thought we were bad.
When the cops say something,
the cops, brother, fucking the cops were saying that they're officers. I saw videos like these. It was a woman, a female officer was getting approached and getting harassed and shit by these people. And when she said she was she finally told them like, hey, listen, I'm an officer of this town. And they said that they just jumped in the car and just fucking bounced. But people are getting harassed, and the fact, like that lady said, like you can just get thrown into a car. You could just get thrown into a car. The protection of the members are safe. There's a lot of really bad shit going down right now, and people are talking about it because it's a topic, but they're not talking about it because it's like, whoa, we have to understand. If somebody said, hey, there's a fucking tornado coming here tomorrow, people would start talking this shit like, oh man, we got fucking bolt the windows. But people are just talking about this as a topic because nobody really relates to shit until it's happening. Like you said, shoes on the other foot. But listen, guys, thank you so much for rocking. Kyle, thanks for coming in, man. I know, glad you was able. I know we kind of home right now, man. Shit, I'm about to look outside and see what's going on out there in a minute.
Bro, it's winter wonderland over here. So
yeah, snowing.
Oh yeah, hard. It's been
it's ice over here, man.
It's been snowing since about 8:30 this morning.
Yeah, I'm putting my shit up right now, trying to see. Look, looks like it stopped raining.
Rain? Shoot, at this point.
Yeah, we've had rain.
I'd trade you for some rain.
Yeah, man, it's been nothing but rain over here, but now it's like it's getting colder, so it's supposed to freeze up, and that's what they're saying. So I don't fucking know, whatever. But guys, thank you so much for watching, man. I hope that we spoke on some stuff on this, topical conversation. I hope that you were able to relate. And more than anything, man, I hope that everybody just kind of is being safe, man, and really paying attention that no matter what you want to believe, there is something going on, and you need to be thoughtful about your movements, man.
Yes.
You got to pay attention, bro. I say at the end of every show, stay true, stay positive, and pay attention. Stay true. You got to fucking know that shit's really happening. No matter how much you don't. Oh, just truthful, understanding. Stay positive because you don't want to be just fucking negative. You got to have some kind of a positive outlook on how negative it looks. But then, of course, pay attention. One of the biggest ones, you have to be fucking aware. You have to have your eyes open. You can't walk with your eyes closed. You can't walk in an imagination. You can't walk in a fairy tale. Like, you have to say, I'm outside right now. I'm doing this. There's not a dog around. There's not a fucking person trying to throw me in the truck. You have to understand. Stay true, stay positive, and pay attention, bro. It'll keep you alive longer. It's just that fucking simple. It's that simple. But Kyle, man, I hope you have a great rest of your night. Beeline, we will be back on Tuesday night unless some more crazy shit happens and I decide to jump on this bitch again tomorrow or tonight. I don't fucking know. I'm talking, bro, because I want to be heard. I want to be heard, and I also want to do my part. I might not be going out in the fucking streets and stuff like that, but I want to do my part, yo. And I really want the best for people. Like, I really want us to come together. I really want us to start doing more. I'm tired of arguing with everybody all the time. I'm tired of the negativity. I don't care if it's a small group of people. Kyle, if you notice, man, you like one of the only motherfuckers that come on this show all the time. That's not just random. Like, I don't reach out to everybody anymore. I don't want to deal with people's bullshit. I want to fucking really have good conversation. I want to be comfortable. And ain't nobody got time for all the other bullshit anymore, bro. So, yeah, it is what it is. But have a good night, bro. And we'll be back. We'll be back this week coming up. Tuesday night, yo. All right, yo. Peace out, man.